Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to another MAMJ Let's Play of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. When we left off, we started the investigation phase and kind of went to Gant's office for a fraction of a second before we got kicked out, so we need to find a way to get in there. Hopefully we can give something to Gumshoe in order to win his trust over, but for now we're going to talk to Miss Angel Star. Alright, let's see what we can learn. Joe Dark. That's a name I'll not soon forget. We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure. Still, I don't think I was ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. Poor old Jake Marshall, though, must have been going through hell. You mean, because of his brother's death? They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate. Her? Lana Skye. My sister? The best of the best were put on that SL9 case. Of course, they were led by the legendary duo. Lana and Chief Gant. Alrighty. I want to know more. That legendary pair was the reason we are able to keep up our investigation. That's why we're so shocked over how it turned out. You mean, with the forging of the evidence? Don't get me wrong, Joe Dark got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear, while other items were kept secret. But you didn't have proof anything illegal was done. I'm proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us save Government were relieved of our duties. Most without even so much as an explanation. Then Lana Skye transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor. Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor. Nothing's quite as simple as it appears. Huh? Lana Skye was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter. She was being used? Okay. Damon Gant and Lana Skye. 2 years ago, Gant was chief detective, and Lana second in command. They were the best. They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they? Damon Gant's magnetism, in particular, was most unreal. His magnetism? By that I mean his ability to attract evidence. He'd produced the most incredible evidence in the cases he handled. Incredible evidence? You mean... Oh yes, there were rumors about him even back then. No one dared confront him though. I take it she's talking about forged evidence. Back then, everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her. Really? Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. She hated anything crooked and always watched out for the other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake. Mr. Marshall. When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as if she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would have ever recovered from his shock. That's what makes it all the more infuriating. Miss Starr. That's why I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that? Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she? Yes, thanks to Chief Gant's powerful influence. Chief? That's right. Having solved the SL9 case, his position as chief was secured. There was only one thing left for him to control, and then no one could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office. The entire office? What? You mean that's why Lana was transferred? If he could control the chief prosecutor, he could control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along. But how could he control Lana? I don't know, but one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude there must have been a reason for her to change. At last, I'm finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Miss Star. You listen to me, rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been. I was gonna say better chief. Okay, who do we need to talk to then? Lana? Maybe? Can we talk to her? No. Who else can we talk to? Edgeworth? I don't know. I'm trying to think of who I can go to with this new information. But I don't think Edgeworth is going to want to talk to us about it. No, of course not. Okay. Let's go to the police side of things. Department entrance. Okay, and then go inside. Ah, Gumshoe's gone. Okay. Oh, you're back. You're still here? I gotta make 150 copies of these files. Brewing coffee, copying files. I'm turning into a regular DJ. You're a DJ as well? If I'm not mistaken, I think he means desk jockey. Oh, that DJ. I gotta admire your persistency, but my answer's still no. I'm not letting you in the chief's office, period. It'd be my neck on the line. That office is the last crime scene in the SL9 incident. I have to take a look in there. There's gotta be something we can do to make the detective change his mind. What though? I haven't learned anything else. What else is there to do? I don't think any of this is gonna help me. So why did it give me a different thing? ID card record? That's the ID card record, isn't it? Yes. There's only one number left to investigate, at 4:20 p.m. The victim, Detective Goodman, must have entered the evidence room along with someone else. Someone with an executive officer number. Yeah, a lot of sevens. That's 1 7 too many, Detective. Executive officer. I might just have a hunch. But who can we show that to? I'm kind of running into a wall here. Do you have an ID number? Nope. Okay. Thanks, Lana. Thanks for being so super helpful. I'm gonna show it to Edgeworth, but after that, I really don't know who else I can show it to. It's just weird because it triggered an event with Gumshoe, but nothing new popped up. Edgeworth, tell me. It seems everything in this case is designed to cast doubt on me. Hey, don't look at me. Yes, I went into the evidence room on the day of the crime. Chief Gant asked me to do something. To take evidence from a case solved 6 months ago back to the prosecutor's office. I have a locker in there as well. Did you notice anything amiss when you were in the evidence room? That room's always dark and I was in a hurry. I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. Dang it! Edgeworth, come on! Okay, so I kind of started investigating Edgeworth's office because remember he was writing something? There's a crumpled piece of paper under his desk and I just clicked on it. I wonder what he was writing before. Come on, Mr. Wright, let's take a look. Are you crazy? Edgeworth is sitting right there. Just distract him, I'll check it out. Hey, Edgeworth. Is that Detective Gumshoe on the window there? Oh no, he's falling to the ground. Hold on. First, let me see what this girl's doing crawling around my feet. He didn't even look. What? Letter of... If you can't read, I'll read it for you. It says letter of resignation. Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean... I'm tired, Mr. Wright. I feel as if something inside me has died. But Mr. Edgeworth, none of it is your fault. I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either. Uh-oh. I think he's serious. Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something. This letter of resignation. I wonder if I can use it for anything. I think I need to show this to Gumshoe. Like, now. Cause Gumshoe will not stand for that. That may be what we need to get into Gant's office. Let's see if I can go there. Gumshoe, buddy, you still doing alright? You're not gonna be doing too good in a minute. Here we go. Finally found what I needed. I just had to examine it a little bit. What's this crumpled up piece of paper? No way! Mr. Edgeworth can't be serious. Is he ever not serious? I can't believe they pushed him this far. Mr. Edgeworth really feels responsible. At first, I thought he was as cold as ice. But now, I know different. He trusted us detectives to provide him with sound evidence. But we betrayed him. Detective. That's it. I made up my mind. But... Here, take my ID card. We can't do that. If someone found out, they wouldn't let you off the hook with another lost item report. Look at me. It's no secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Mr. Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be as good as terminated. What? So at least let me do this. For Mr. Edgeworth's sake. Alright, Detective. Thank you. Gumshoe's ID tucked swiftly into your pocket. Thanks, Gumshoe. We gotta keep these two safe. We have to keep Edgeworth and Gumshoe safe. Alright, now we can look around in here. Here goes, Mr. Wright. We're in. What a majestic office. Open sesame. If anyone finds us now, Detective Gumshoe's a goner. If that happens, I'm counting on you to bail me out. Eek! Ah! She slapped him! Aww. Poor Gumshoe. Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. I didn't even know you could slap a ghost. Detective Gumshoe! What are you doing sneaking up on us like that? I wasn't sneaking. I was just worried something might go wrong. So I came too. If you're here, then what's the point of giving us your ID card? Crumpled Gumshoe's ID card in pocket. Hey, don't do that to my card. Poor Gumshoe. Alright, since he's here, let's look around. I hardly ever get a chance to come in here, so I figured I'd have a look around myself. Besides, we're all in this together now. You really do want to get fired, don't you? Not if we're lucky. Now come on, let's see what we can find out. I've got a bad feeling about this. Alright, we need to look around. I can talk to Gumshoe later. Statue. That was in the picture. This is a real deal, isn't it? This armor, these weapons. Sure is, pal. The chief doesn't care for imitations. First a pipe organ, and now this armor. Do you know how many taxpayer dollars must have gone into this room? What? You mean we're paying for this? That's it. I'm not paying 1 cent of my taxes. You don't have any taxes to pay. Shh. Be careful what you say. Who knows? The chief may be hiding in this armor as we speak. I don't think he'd fit in there. Even if he did, he'd never be able to get back out. Cut it out. You guys don't know how scary that guy can be. Fair enough. Okay, so what else do we want to look at? Oh wow, look at the size of Chief Gant's desk. Speaking of that, when we were here earlier... It's you two. Chief Gant. He put that paper he was reading in his desk. Ah. I wonder what he was reading. This looks like a list of evidence used in the case. A list of evidence? In most cases, the list runs twice as long as this. Hey, look at the case name. Huh? SL9 incident. I wonder what this is doing in here. Hold on, detective. What did you just say? I said, I wonder what... No, about the evidence list. Normally they're twice as long? That's right. I guess there wasn't a lot of evidence. A half-size list of evidence. That list of evidence, it seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. What would the other half of the list be doing here? I knew it! The chief must be hiding something about that case. It would appear so. Alrighty, we got it. Gan's not gonna like that too much. What's over here? Got a picture, maybe? These shelves are mostly empty. Lana must have cleaned them out when she transferred over to the prosecutor's office. There's a small picture frame on the left shelf. Hey, this is when Lana and I went to that theme park. Aww, it's so sweet. This was Lana's desk, and it sure is tidy. Lana's always been a meticulous cleaner. There's not even any dust on it. Looks like someone's still keeping it clean. Does Lana ever come back here? No. Chief Gant must still keep it clean in memory of their partnership. They were the stuff legends are made of. Does he keep it in memory of her, or in memory of the crime? True. Alright, where was the crime actually taken? I don't know. Should I check the floor over here, or, I don't know what to look at. Picture? This was taken on that day 2 years ago. The day Joe Dark ran out of questioning and tried to kill Emma. After receiving his award trophy, Mr. Marshall took a picture here. Then went along with Chief Gant to question Dark. I bet he never knew he'd be dead just a few hours later. Gee, you think? Alright, there's gotta be something else we're missing. I just don't know what. No clues here. Okay, fine. Window? Look at that giant window. Makes you want to crash through it and jump outside. This is the 15th floor. I know, I was just saying. Saying what? Ever since making detective, I've always dreamed about doing something like that. Note to self, Detective Gumshoe has a lot of dreams. So long as he doesn't go crashing through that window when he gets fired. Don't say that. Kinda mean, actually, but kind of awesome at the same time. Okay, what about this window then? You can see pretty far from 15 stories up. If you were to drop that suit of armor from here... At first, the chief wanted to use stained glass for his window. Really? But why didn't he? They say he changed his mind because he wouldn't be able to see the view. Oh. Stained glass or not, it's a huge window. Alright, what about this giant organ here? The chief's organ sure is a sight to behold. Occasionally, we hear him playing it up from Criminal Affairs Department. That's on the 2nd floor, and this is the 15th. When the detective screws up, the chief calls him to his office and makes him listen to the organ for hours. What's so bad about that? Music soothes the soul. After that, the detective can't hear anything for days except for ringing in his ears. So it's an instrument of punishment, literally. But aren't the chief's ears affected? He never listens to anyone anyway. That's besides the point. That's awesome. What is this? Is this a safe? This is a safe, isn't it? Safe. That word is ripe with intrigue. Okay, if you say so. It looks like a code needs to be entered in this panel to open it. Oh. A 7-digit number. I think I just might know what it is. Is it a bunch of 7s? Do you know what it is? I have a hunch. Oh, I know. You want to try my birth date? It's... What? I have a better idea. Here goes nothing. Oh, that's fancy. Okay, I think it's all 7s. I think that's gonna be Gant's ID number. We good? Yes! So it is his. Bingo. What number did you enter? Whose birthday was that, pal? 777-777-777-777. The final ID card number on that record. What? The number of the mysterious executive officer who entered the room that day. You mean 7777777? That ID number? I think you're 1 7 shy this time. This can only mean one thing. That's Chief Gant's ID number. Say, anyone care to look inside? Sure. Why not? I mean, we're already here. Is there any money in there? How much does he have stashed away? Look, it's a shard from a broken cup? This somehow looks familiar. Where have I seen this before? There's something else in here too. What's this? Looks like a piece of leather cloth. Okay. This is a handprint, isn't it? Hey, I saw someone wearing a shirt like that once. You think the chief made up the design? I don't think so. Oh, well, it was just a thought. Is that it? This is all that was in the safe. Apparently so. It's empty now. A piece of cloth with a handprint on it. And a broken shard from a cup. They look like pieces of evidence. But unless you can prove they have something to do with this case, I'm afraid I can't just let you take them. After all, it's my neck on the line here. Great. Now I have to prove their relevancy to get them. How are these two items related to the SL9 incident? Come on, there's got to be something we can show the detective. Definitely. Alright, so first off, we need to show him the broken jar. Detective Gumshoe, could you have another look at this jar? All of us put that back together. Ha, those were the days. It's kind of early to be nostalgic. Wasn't this jar a piece of evidence from that case? That's right. One of the shards had an SL9 incident sticker on it. Doesn't this ring any bells? You know, that fragment we just found. You mean this one? That was in the safe? Yes, that one. That was in the safe. He's like, I'm thinking. Now that you mention it, it's ringing a lot of bells. Let's see if it fits. Here, let me see that shard. I'll take a crack at this. Go ahead, pal. Show us what a rookie can do. Mr. Wright, here's some glue. If I can piece this together again, it'll prove Chief Gant was knowingly hiding evidence. Here goes. Oh, easy peasy. One piece? Are you kidding me? Boom. Done. Nailed it. There. It fits like a charm. That, of course, means Chief Gant willingly and knowingly hid a piece of this jar in his safe. In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence from the SL9 incident. But, hey guys, get a load of this. What is it? This piece you just attached. It's different from the others. There's a reddish line on it. A reddish line? That's blood. I don't get it. Why would Chief Gant hide this in his safe? Oh, the questions we have to answer. All right, so we have one more thing that we need to do, which is the handprint, which I believe is this. I can't believe Officer Marshall would do something like that. You know Officer Marshall? Of course I do. He was like a mentor to me. When I first started out, he even gave me a small cactus. Really? He said, Dick, she'll listen to all your troubles. Note to self, Detective Gumshoe talks to a cactus. Hard to believe he's just a patrolman now. Someone ought to trade places with him. What? Why are you looking at me like that? Okay, that didn't help. Can we talk to him about anything? Oh, we can. All right, let's do that. That desk on the other side of the room, was that your sister's? Yes, that's where I was waiting for Lana. On that day 2 years ago. Is anyone using it now? No, sir. This is entirely Chief Gant's office now. He practices a strict policy of preserving the crime scene. That's a strange reason to leave it there. He leaves it as a warning to everyone else. He wants us to always be alert. He told us so himself at our New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time. I see. So ever since Lana left, no one's ever touched that desk? No one except Chief Gant and the cleaning lady, who's in here each morning. Still, 2 years have passed since that incident. There can't possibly be any clues remaining. Probably not. Can I ask you something? Sure. You only came here to look around, right? Because it's one of the SL9 crime scenes. I mean, that's your only reason for coming here, isn't it? Why do you ask? You don't think? Nah, you wouldn't be. Nah, there's no way. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Okay. Now then, let's look around a bit more. Hey, hold on. Not so fast, buddy. Huh? What is it? When someone tells you don't worry about it, it's supposed to start bothering you, pal. You don't just let it go with that. Sorry. This guy's starting to get on my nerves. Okay, so what's bothering you? You two don't think Chief Gant might be a suspect, do you? What? Yeah, Mr. Wright, what do we think of him? Chief Gant. So it's finally come to this. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best if I don't divulge my feelings. Yet. There he goes, ignoring me again. Sorry, Gumshoe. Alright, we gotta look around a little bit more. There's something else we're missing. I just don't know what. So we check the safe. This side hasn't been touched since the actual incident itself. But I don't know if there's anything else we can get from it. Yeah, everything else looks like I'm able to fast forward through, which means I've already seen it. What else is there? This mark looks like some kind of flower. Word is, it's designed after the insignia on the prosecutor's badge. Prosecutor's badge? Yeah, like the one hanging from your collar. What? They have badges too? The design is supposed to portray the severity of the punishment system. Now that you mention it, it does look all pointy and kind of painful. But Mr. Edgeworth never wears his badge. That's because he's a sharp dresser. A badge like that wouldn't go too well with his outfit. So sharp dressers don't need to wear badges? I guess everyone just kind of lets it slide. I don't see how that's supposed to signify severe punishment. That is very true. Okay, what else? What else is there? I don't see anything else. Do I need to present? I still don't have the cloth, I guess. But I really don't know what I can use for that. I feel a lot better now that the jar's complete. But it only raises another question. What was a piece of it doing in the chief's safe? More importantly, why wasn't there any money in there? Isn't that what safes are for anyway? I have a feeling the outcome of tomorrow's trial just might hinge on this. It might. Is it really not Marshall's prints? Okay, so I can't do that. Can I fingerprint somewhere? Maybe. Detective Gumshoe, I'd like you to have a look at this. Hey, I know what that is. So you want to take some fingerprints? That's a great idea, Detective. Alright, go to town. Sheesh. What are you doing? Why are you sticking out your hand like that? Go ahead, take my fingerprints. It's not your fingerprints we want to take. Huh? Come on, this isn't the time for jokes. We're talking about that cloth we found in the safe. Oh, I knew that. The one with the handprint on it, right? Sheesh, where's your sense of humor? Alrighty, this is what I needed to do. Okay, Mr. Wright, let's check for prints. Sprinkle the powder on the cloth. Then, once they've been absorbed into the prints, blow the rest away. What are you, my mom? I don't have to be told a million times. Alright, let's get this over with. Alright. So, examine, I guess that one? The index? Alright, sprinkle the powder all nice and happy like, and then blow it away. Ah, we got something. I gave it my best shot. That kind of result won't be any good for matching prints, will it? But it doesn't look like we'll get a clear result from this print. Okay, let's try a different finger then. Fine, what about this one? It's a little bit darker maybe. Perhaps? Can we get a clear print? Come on. Ah. I give it my best shot. Yeah, that one doesn't help either, does it? Okay, the middle finger then. Why not? One of these has to give me a nice, clear result. Sprinkle it on nice and heavy, and boom. Ah, there we go. Okay, so now we need to match this. I think it's gonna be... No, it's not Marshall's. Whose is it? That's Emma's. What? It's Emma's handprint. Oh my god. Really? No. How can this be? What are Emma's fingerprints doing here? Hey, you found a match? Whose fingerprints were they? Huh? Oh, it seems the prints are too old. They aren't clear enough to get a match. Oh, that's too bad. I thought that'd be Dark's prints. Psst. Hey you, over here. What's going on here? What are that kid's prints doing inside the chief's safe? Don't ask me. Let's just keep this information from Emma for now. Here, maybe you should hold on to this. Oh, that's interesting. Well, was there any help? Of course. Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence. Now that's not very kind, is it? In other words, if it wasn't for his ID card, he would have been useless. Ah, crap. Isn't that right? You in the coat. Eek! Chief Gant! We didn't think you'd be back so soon. Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in science. As I was walking to my meeting, I happened to look out a window and saw a stray dog run right into a pole. Just then, I thought of a certain detective. Do you mean me, sir? Now then, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to leave. Yes, sir. Sorry. Oh, you in the coat. Me, sir? Drop off your ID card on the way out. You won't be needing it anymore. But, sir... Now, get out. Yes, sir. Oh no, Gumshoe! We'll be on our way too then. Wait. You, the one without the spiky hair. Don't go yet. Me, sir? I'd like a word with you. But, sir, I'm not a licensed scientific investigator yet. You with the spiky hair. You're free to go. Mr. Wright. Aw, Emma. Look, pal. If I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. The chief's office is off limits. But no, you just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you? I thought you said you didn't care anymore if you were fired. Yeah, but if I knew it'd be like this, I never would have said it. Now that I've seen the evidence Chief Gant was holding in his office, I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. It's hard to believe anyone could keep quiet about it all this time. Hey, anyway, you listen to me? I'm gonna try to smooth things over with the chief again. Later, pal. Bye, Gumshoe. After that, I heard from Emma. She said the police want to ask her some questions, so she'll be busy for the rest of the day. I see. so the chief asked Emma to come in for questioning. It's no use thinking about it. Tomorrow's the final day in court. I'm committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here. But I've already told you all I can. What you've told me over these past couple of days is absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing. Really? I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. I said that I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman. You know, I think I've finally figured it out. Who it is you're hiding behind those words. Mia did a good job mentoring you. I'm rather jealous. It seems Edgeworth was right. Edgeworth? Once you're convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is the term he used, I believe. Now's my chance to get her to tell me the rest of the story. I'm very thick-headed. I have to admit, I was more than a little perplexed at first. You insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth. It's that you're incapable of doing so, because of a certain individual. What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say. So, you think I'm protecting this person? Protecting? No. I think afraid of is more like it. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence. For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, whom may I ask is this person you're speaking of? The one I am supposedly so frightened of. What is this person's name? Gant. Well, Miss Skye? Yeah, I figured. Mr. Wright, you are addressing the chief prosecutor. Do not forget your place. I take it she's still not ready to spill the beans. My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about the circumstances? Alright, fine. We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective. Assuming he is respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes? His crimes? Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically, hiding and forging evidence. Of course, these are serious offenses. Why is it, though, that Chief Gant's name was never mentioned? Chief Gant? Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly investigated that evidence was me. I had access because I was second in command of that investigation. Yes, you, but also one other, Damon Gant. If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gant falsified evidence in that case. How about this? I just found this in the safe at the chief's office. This jar piece and this strip of cloth. Do you know what these are? They're pieces of evidence from the SL9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gant himself. Now tell me, why are you taking the blame for him? Come on, spill it! Touché, Mr. Wright. It's as you surmised. I cannot disobey the chief's orders. Even if it means being found guilty for murder. Why not? Come now, Mr. Wright. You can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate. In the murder of Detective Goodman. Or perhaps I should say, follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate. Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car. Just as I suspected. Despite what everyone believes, you were not the one who murdered Detective Goodman. Correct. I was trying to take the body out of Edgeworth's car. The trunk was broken. I discovered that murder weapon while inspecting the body. The murder weapon? You mean Edgeworth's knife? No. When I found the body, this was the knife stuck in it. The knife from the SL9 incident. Serial killer Joe Dark's knife. I couldn't just leave that knife in him, so I took it out and stabbed him with another knife. That would be Edgeworth's knife. That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand. And that's the reason for the bandage on your right hand. Yes, it seems that I got blood on the victim's shoes as well. And then she saw me just as I plunged the knife in. Miss Starr. Why did you need to hide Dark's knife so badly? That is kind of weird. It took a lot of work to finally close the Dark case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want it to be opened again. My intent was to prevent that by whatever means possible. So, you hid Dark's knife. The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Dark case. If word got out, which it would, the reporters would have a field day with that. So you wrapped the knife up in your scarf and hid it. In Edgeworth's exhaust pipe. Right. Then I called my sister to tell her what happened and asked her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler. You asked Emma? I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this. That would explain why Emma is so confident about Lana's innocence. Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day. A bad feeling? The truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gant, the first thing I did was make a phone call. A phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall. To Marshall? Why on earth would you call him? The lead investigator for the SL9 incident had been murdered. I wanted that fact to be kept hidden, and I needed help. He was the only other person I could trust. Or at least, I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seems that after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own. Oh, you mean, not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands. He disguised himself as Officer Goodman and tried to steal the evidence. He had already stolen the ID card, but it seems he still hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room. Kinda pushed him over the edge then, didn't we? After my phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared. So your phone call caused the incident in the evidence room? I'm afraid that's all I can tell you. But Lana, you've earned my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and an investigator. Now please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow. Tomorrow's trial. There's only one way to drive off Lana's demons. I've got to get to the bottom of everything. Detective Goodman's real murderer. And what went down in the chief's office 2 years ago. So we gotta leave it there, huh? Alright, so 45 minutes was a good place to stop it last time. So, what do you guys think? We finally finished all the investigation. All that we have left is the trial, and you know it's gonna be a doozy, and we may have to break it up into a couple segments, but we are gonna get through this and finish the first Phoenix Wright game. So hang tight, but thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed. I'll see you guys on the next time. AMJ, let's play. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so. What do you mean, fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. The murder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife with the broken tip? That was Joe Dark's, alright. But, in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised. A question? The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained.